In this lesson I'm going to show you how the index formula works. I'm going to do it on the vlookup example just because it's almost the same as a vlookup but just a bit more powerful. Now, questions that I get a lot is that with a vlookup your limitations is that vlookup you have to search from the left hand side. What happens if your information is left from the left hand side? So for example, if I wanted to insert the employee name in the table, the name is sitting in column C. What if I wanted the surname, which in this example we do need? Then the only formula you can use to do that is the index formula. Now, index formula works almost the same as a vlookup. The difference is that it can go to anywhere in the column. You would still identify a table array, and in any one of those columns you can pull information from. The most important parts of a match formula is that you can incorporate the match formula into an index formula. And an index formula won't work without a match formula. And what you normally do is, let's say in this example, we would look for the name. You would still look for the name in column C, but you will use a match formula to determine in which row does that name sit. Then you will use a match formula to determine which column letter do we want, because the index formula wants that letter. Let me just quickly show you on this one what it consists of. So you do an index formula. If I go into the formula function bar, you'll use the first one, array, row, number, column number. Okay, so your array, you can literally select all the columns. So I'm just going to fix them immediately. Okay, now can you see there it's got two things there. It says row number and it says column number. So you would have to identify to which row does it want, which column does it want. So it's like an intersect. So how do we find this row? This row we'll find with a match formula. So I'm going to say, find this name for me. And I'm just going to fix it so that I can copy it later in this column. And then just remember your 0. So it will tell me that this first name that I'm searching for is sitting in row number 56. Then which column am I looking for? Which will be another match formula. So I'm looking for this heading. Remember, match formulas can work either on rows or on headings. In that row. So if we select a row, then it means it will get the column number. Okay, so do you guys see? The first one we're saying, what is our total table array? And we've selected everything from column A up until column E. Then we're saying, in this column that we've selected, which row do we want? In this case, row 56. And that number we're getting by looking for the name. And then we want to know in which column we want information. It will start counting, because we selected from column A, it will start counting in column A as number 1. If we only selected our table array in column B, then we must make sure that we do that correctly, because then our numbers will be different. So if I just go back to this formula, you'll see that I'm looking for row 56 in column number 5. Column number 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up until E. If my table array only started at column B, let me show that to you guys. If I change this to column B, then this has to always also start at column B. You see, we will get the same result there. So make sure you get that numbering correctly and you count from the correct places. So because I fixed everything, it should work perfectly. And there's all of them. You could have also done your match formula there rather. Say, let's match that. We're going to look for it there. And then that we can just copy. Or we could have done the row one there. Let's look for that name in there. And then instead of having this long formula, if you really struggle with long formulas, you could have taken this out. You could have said, this is my row number and that's my column number. It's the same result. So there's different ways of doing it. The difference between index and vlookup is vlookup only can search from the left onwards, while an index can search anywhere you want. And you don't have to go and edit your stuff to be able to do it.